Hi, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jonathan Glass, mediator and couples therapist, with some thoughts about mediation today. So let's say you've decided to divorce and you're asking what's the best way to do it. Should we go to mediation? Should we go to litigation? Right? Should we go to lawyers? So here's the situation, okay? Not all situations are good for mediation. So for instance, if there's violence involved, or if there's a situation where there's a huge imbalance of power. So if one side is afraid of the other side, or if the two sides are not able to sit together and have a conversation without one side insulting the other incessantly, those are situations which are not appropriate for mediation. Okay, but any situation where the couple, right, where the couple is able to sit down and have a conversation. Even if it's a difficult conversation, but they're able to have a conversation. So those are the situations where mediation can help. So if you and your mate are able to sit down and have some kind of a conversation, right, and you need a little help, maybe a lot of help in reaching agreements, that's exactly what mediation is good for. That's what mediation is, right? Mediation is not, it's certainly not litigation, and it's not a situation where mediators are not judges, and they're not arbitrators, and they're not out there to determine who did what to who, or who's right or who's wrong. Mediators have the one purpose of helping the two of you get to an agreement that's good for both of you and that you both sign in on. So with mediation, the first advantage of mediation, advantage number one is you decide, right? The judge doesn't decide, you decide. And that way you have to live with an agreement that you decided on. Okay, you have ownership in that agreement. That's the first very, very powerful advantage of mediation over litigation. Litigation, the judge decides. You have to live with the judge's decision. We know statistically that agreements, it's court-enforced decisions are less honored by people than decisions that they reach by their own accord. So a mediated decision has a much better chance of being sustainable than a court-enforced decision. So mediation, you decide. That's the first advantage. Second advantage of mediation is that it's cheaper than litigation. Far, far cheaper. Probably about a fifth or a sixth of the cost of litigation. Third advantage of mediation is that it's much quicker than litigation. Litigation can drag on for years and years and years, especially if both sides hires a lawyer and then they take all of the weapons out and the tanks out and they're going to battle. It can drag on for years and years and years, whereas mediation is a relatively quick process. It could take a few months maybe, but that's all in most cases, in most divorce cases. Now, the fourth advantage of mediation over litigation, and really this is the biggest one, I think, and that is that it's respectful. Okay? If you have a litigated divorce, there's often a situation of prolonged conflict between the parents, and there's nothing worse for children than a situation of prolonged conflict between the parents. That's one of the most damaging things to a child that can be. So when you take into consideration the effect that it has on your children, the long-term effect and the cost, both in terms of dollars, but in terms of emotions and stress of a litigated divorce, okay, also actually a fifth advantage of mediation over litigated divorce is that a litigated divorce, things go public. Okay, so anything that's in court, you can find it on Google, it's all public, there's mudslinging that can go on, and all of a sudden all of the private information, it could be very, very private information, it could be slanderous, it's all out there, it's on the internet, it's all around the town, whereas mediation is a closed process. Okay, it's a secret process, a confidential process. Okay, it's confidential, it's quick, it's cheaper, and it's respectful. And you get to decide. Okay, so we actually have 5 advantages of mediation. Again, you get to decide, it's cheaper, it's quicker, it's respectful, and it's confidential. I'm Jonathan Glass. Thanks for being with me today. Bye-bye.